At the preparatory meeting of the Project DEAR held in October 2015 in Martorell, Spain, Croatia was given the topic time, and we had to prepare a lesson that will encompass both language objectives and an IT product which could be used for teaching afterwards. We decided to teach this lesson with two teachers, an English teacher and an IT teacher. Since we decided to teach this lesson to our upper elementary school graders, 7th and 8th graders, who are 13 and 14 years old, this gave us the possibility of developing 4 programs that will help students of English struggling with prepositions of time, as well as our international guests in this and another Erasmus Plus project. As far as the lesson is concerned, we decided to focus on the correct ways of telling precise time with the preposition at, when to use past and to when telling precise time, when to use the preposition on, and when to use the preposition in. The lesson was divided in 2 parts. In the first part, we gave a language overview, and in the second part, students coded the programs. We started the lesson by showing the students a picture of a clock and a calendar, and told them to say whatever comes to their mind. This served as a motivation, as we wanted to elicit answers which will introduce the students to the topic. The answers were various, but connected with our topic. For example, clocks, numbers, calendar, month, date, time, and so on. The first part of the lesson was a theoretical language overview in which we explained the students how to tell precise time in English language and when to use the expressions past, quarter past, half past, to, and quarter to. We also explained when to use prepositions in, on, and at. After the first theoretical part on how to tell precise time in English, the students were given an exercise. They had to write the exact time that each clock was showing. They were given 2 minutes for this exercise, and then we checked it in a way that the volunteers came to the teacher's computer and wrote the correct times. After that, we moved on to explaining the prepositions of time to the students. For example, at is used when talking about specific time, on is used when talking about dates, days of the week and special days, and in is used when talking about years, parts of the day, months, and seasons. Students were then given an exercise in which they had to choose the correct preposition. They were given 1 minute to look at the sentences and fill in the blanks. We checked the answers in a way that the volunteers came to the teacher's computer and filled in the blanks. We then moved on to the main part of our lesson, programming. Since our 8th graders are quite skilled in Python programming language, the main part of the lesson consisted of programming in Python in 4 teams, each with a specific task regarding time. Students were then divided into 4 teams, each with 1 team leader. Each team was assigned 1 task regarding the usage of prepositions of time and telling the precise time. They also installed QPython app, which allows for the code to be read and executed on Android smartphones, and which can be found on Google Play. The name of the first task was hard time with prepositions of time. The team had to write a program which will, using the loop with logic conditional and employing functions if and elif, put preposition in front of the names of months and seasons, preposition on in front of the names of the days of the week, and preposition at if you enter time using numbers in a decimal notation. The name of the second task was help them to tell time. The team had to write a program which will, using the loop with logic conditional while and function if, help the young learners of English to tell time. The time has to be entered in the form x.xx, which means 2 decimal places with numbers from 0 to 60 that represent minutes. The name of the third task was solving the time zone issues. The team had to write a program which will, using functions gmTime and strftime, extract only hours, minutes, and seconds from time. Then, the students had to define a function which will give the exact time in each of the participating countries according to their time zone. The name of the fourth task was when to work and when to party. The team had to write a program which will help the students and the teachers who are visiting our school next month to know when there are classes in progress and when there are breaks, in a way that if you enter time in a decimal form, the program gives you the answer. The teams were then given the instructions and the programming started. It is important to mention that we did 2 lessons of 45 minutes each, as it was impossible to incorporate both the theoretical language part and the student's assignment in only 45 minutes. If the students had difficulties, our IT teacher was always ready to jump in. After the groups finished coding, they presented their work to the rest of the class and copied the code to the QPython webpage to see if the code works on Android phones. The page translates the code into QR code, which is then scanned by the camera on the smartphone and can be executed on any Android phone. At the end of the lesson, the students played a quiz on Kahoot. The quiz contained questions from the language part of the lesson, as well as some questions about the functions the students used during the programming. The students logged in with the password given by the IT teacher, and in the end, we declared a winner.